here to share with you today information about a difficult topic that many of us don't usually like to talk about, and that's death and dying. But unfortunately, death is inevitable. We all will have to face death in our lifetime. I'm going to share some information and ideas that I've learned from patients and families, and actually from even personal experience in my own family, about things that would be important to know when you're facing death. Becoming an advocate for yourself, knowing what you want, knowing what you need to ask. When you're going to the doctor's office, writing down questions you want to ask the doctor. Bringing somebody with you. Maybe it's a person you feel close to and they can be there with you to write down things in the doctor's visit. Many times you'll get home after a doctor's appointment and you will not have remembered anything the doctor shared with you. It's very difficult to receive bad news. It's also real important when you go to the doctor's office to bring an updated medication list and any symptoms you're having, so it'll better help you communicate with the physician, and you'll make sure that all the things you're having problems with are shared during that visit. Many times we'll leave a doctor's office and we'll realize, oh, I forgot to tell him this, forgot to tell him that. I totally messed up. So, if you're given many different treatment options by the doctor, it's important to know, will these treatments extend my life? If I take this chemotherapy, if I take this drug for my heart, is it going to extend my life? And if it does, at what cost? What are the side effects? And if I don't take the treatment, if I decide not to take the chemo or the medications for my heart or for my lungs, how much time do I have? So it's called a prognosis. And it's important for you to get as much information as you can about your disease and what your prognosis is. And a prognosis is an estimate of how long you're going to live with the disease you've been diagnosed with. The doctor takes the statistics and your information about your health and puts it all together to come up with a prognosis. And you and your family have a right to know this. Another important piece when you have a life-threatening illness is to get a palliative care consult early in your diagnosis. Many people think of palliative care as end-of-life care, and it really isn't. It grew out of the end-of-life care movement, which was hospice, but it really is meant to be throughout your treatment. You know, if you're diagnosed with something like cancer or end-stage heart failure, you can get palliative care involved long before you're considered terminal or have a poor prognosis. Palliative care is very much like hospice in some ways. They have a multidisciplinary approach, which includes social work, chaplain, and a specially trained physician in palliative care. But there's also palliative care programs that are out there to educate generalists or your physician on how to provide palliative care in those settings. So they're teaming up to work together to provide better care at the end of life, which we know that we need to improve at. This is a slide to show you the old way of thinking, is that you get aggressive care or you get life-prolonging care, and then the doctor says there's nothing more we can do, you go to hospice, right? When palliative care came about, the model was, let's initiate palliative care in the beginning while you're getting that treatment for your disease, and as the treatments start winding down and there's less that's being effective for you, or you're maybe getting sicker from your disease, the palliative care component of that grows and eventually will become 100% palliative, which is what hospice is. Hospice is intensified palliative care at the end of life. But if you get palliative care involved early in your illness, that does not mean you're in hospice. After hospice, another point that's very important is bereavement, in which is support of the family for 13 months after you die. So it's real important to have the whole support from the very beginning of your disease all the way until you die, and for your family after. This is to show you that all patients who are going to die may go through a different, what we call disease trajectory. The first slide is with someone who maybe has cancer. They're doing pretty well, but they have a serious disease. And then when the disease starts to grow, the decline may happen a little bit more rapid. And that they may come down and come off of that. The middle one is more someone with COPD, which is like emphysema, or someone who has heart disease. They may have bumps along the way where they dip down and they don't come back to baseline. They go in the hospital, they come out, and they're not as well as they were when they went in. That continues, and as they're going down, they're moving towards end-of-life care or hospice. And then the third chart is actually dementia or Alzheimer's disease or other neurological diseases where there's a constant change, basically until they actually decline to where they need end-of-life care. When you do get to that point and you want to look into hospice, it's important to look into the different hospices in your community and go online, read about them, give them a call, maybe set up some interviews, find out what staff they have provided. Hospice is covered 100% by Medicare and Medicaid, and it's good to get to know what they can provide for you. Like I said earlier, hospice provides interdisciplinary care, which includes a medical director, nurses, social workers, chaplains, volunteers, and a bath nurse, and many hospices provide extra stuff that's real special, like music therapy, massage therapy, pet therapy, and basically they provide everything you need in order for you to be cared for at the end of your life, to make sure you're comfortable and that your family is supported. The focus of hospice is not on dying. Many times people think that it's all about dying. Hospice is really focusing on life and making your life the best we possibly can. So it's not to hasten death or to cause you to die quicker. We're not going to give you medications that are going to cause you to die. We're going to give you medications for comfort and focus on your quality of life. So many times hospice gets the rap that it's going to be, all about death, and it is not. It's important to spend as much time as you can with your family and friends, doing the things you want to do. And hospice actually helps you do that by keeping you comfortable so you can do your end-of-life work. One of the things that's important, and patients love this, is leaving your legacy or telling your story. And I've been doing this for many years, and years ago we didn't do this, and I think it's one of the most wonderful things that hospice provides is the social workers, chaplains, and specially trained volunteers help the patient tell their story. It's important for you to spend time with your family going through old pictures, maybe writing names down of who people are that you remember they'll never know, writing dates down, telling stories. And the volunteer who comes out will, audio tape, they can video, or they can just take notes and dictate. And then they take all that information you have shared and they compile it into a book to tell your story. And the pictures you want out of the ones you've gone through, you can choose and pick and choose which ones you want in that book. And then that book becomes a gift for your family so that, they'll be missing you, they can pick that book up. It's something that always is there for them. The other thing that's really awesome is a memory box. You can make it with anything you want that means something to you. One patient loved pumps. She loved pumps. She loved pumps with a high heel. And on the top of her memory box, she had a red high-heeled pump. And then she wrote letters. And other patients have written letters to their children, their grandchildren, maybe on your wedding day. Maybe it is the first Christmas after you die, your first baby. So all the things that you're not going to be around for, you can write letters, and your loved one feels your presence through your letter, which is wonderful to leave. This is a program, basically what we provide in our hospice. It's called Lumina, which means illuminate. But many hospices provide different types of programs, but this is just one that we provide in our hospice. The next thing is your bucket list. As the baby boomers age and you go and watch Bucket List on the movie screen, it's a very important part of preparing to die. When you're told you have a certain amount of time to live, you think about, okay, what's important for me? My sister-in-law died this summer. She was 46 with metastatic breast cancer. And she was very weak. She had fluid in her lungs. The hospice did everything they could to make her as comfortable as possible. And she was able to go to the beach. It was on her bucket list, the number one thing she wanted to do before she died. And you know she got to go. And she has pictures with her daughter, things they'll always remember, her getting to do her favorite thing. The other one was riding a camel, believe it or not, and she got to do that at Grant's Farm. So it may be a trip. It may be that you want to plan your funeral. That might be on your bucket list. I want to plan the readings, I want to plan the music, I want to plan the flowers. You may want to choose your casket, if that's important to you. And then also wrapping up any financial or legal things. It's real important that you can make sure everyone that you have down as your advocate knows where to find everything. And that may be something you can put on your bucket list as well. So taking charge at the end of your life, something people don't think of much, but you get to decide on your final day, on your final hour, on your final minute or second, who's going to be there, where's it going to be, where am I going to die? It could be at home, it could be in a nursing home, assisted living, or hospital. 80% of people polled want to die at home. Close to 80% of people don't. They die in the hospital. That's why we have to do a better job, so that we're doing what people are asking for. But if you choose to die at home and you decide who's going to be around you when you die, you can make it so. And that's taking charge of what's going to happen at the end. And hospice will be there for you if you enter a hospice program, no matter where you decide that you're going to die, and make sure that we make it as peaceful and as comfortable as possible. This is a quote from Dame Cicely Saunders. She was a pioneer for hospice. She was a nurse who later became a physician and has done a lot with the hospice movement. You matter because you are you, and you matter to the end of your life. We will do all we can, not only to help you die peacefully, but also to live until you die. Thank you.